Hey, it's William here and we're in the Tampah Gardens. We're getting into growing vegetables to be able to supply the chefs that are finally making their way into the villas. Originally, we were focusing a lot on reforestry, getting all the plants, trees to be able to bring back the water tables. And finally, I think it's time to be able to dedicate time to the vegetables, the edibles, fruit trees, a lot of leafy greens at the same time, and herbs. So yeah, let's have a look about what's going on and what's growing in the garden. So we're doing a lot of intercropping. We've got here eggplants and at the same time celery growing together for a bit of pest control. Here we've got basics that are really common in Indonesian cuisine, water spinach. And on the far end here, we've got a little bit of Brazilian spinach that's growing pretty well. It's one of those crops that really like the shade. That's really something that we're looking for, as in Tampah, we're not cutting down a lot of trees, so we really have to adapt to the scenery. So now we're getting into the nursery. This is where everything starts. All the little seedlings are starting off here in these little trays. We've got our whole planning about the germination, what seeds are going well so that we can know what we're going to be planting in the future, the different schedules about how the team is supposed to work out, getting rid of the weeds, the different principles of natural farming. And then it moves on to these boxes, which are mainly going to be dedicated to herbs. So here we've got a bit of the local mint that is starting to thrive. Smelling really beautiful. On the other side, we've got some peppermint, which we were trailing in the beginning, but it's thriving now. And yeah, things are getting busy. We had a couple difficulties with rosemary, in the past few months as the rains were really intense, but now they're starting to grow back. And yeah, we can't wait to get these in the oven with the potatoes. It's going to be really nice. So right now we're getting into the beds where the leafy greens are grown. This bed was harvested on Tuesday, so yesterday. And right now these are basically all the veg that are going to come in the succession. As you can see, we harvested a piece of this bed because the chefs needed a little more. But this is going to be the next harvested bed. And the next one is where we planted the seedlings that are going to be for the next month, basically. So basically, right now we're in the first stage of the Tampah Gardens. This is where we're fine-tuning all the different materials that we want to be using in the other stage. Here we've got some Oya pots that are in the middle of a lot of recycled material that we were able to use to make the beds. These are starting to look really interesting, and we see that the basil is thriving here. So we're now moving on to the second stage, which is going to be dedicated to the market garden. It's going to be all surrounded by rice fields. So it's going to be a really beautiful project with a lot of colors on the hills, and it's going to be more than 1 hectare. So there's nothing more exciting than that. So this whole area is our playground, basically. So right now we're looking towards the sports center, and this is where we'll actually connect to the farmland. So we're gonna have a little bridge crossing the stream over here, and then we have the road that's coming up towards the top of the hill. And this is where you'll be able to see all of the rice terraces as it goes up the hill. On the left side is dedicated to the rice, and the right side is gonna be dedicated to market gardening. So we're gonna have these stakes are going to be transforming into a really nice greenhouse. It's going to be really beautiful. And over the top over there is where the mandala garden is going to be. It's going to be a whole mandala garden occupying that surface over there, so that we'll be planting herbs and main vegetables like tomatoes, chilies, eggplants, and more, so that they're really intercropped into one area and protecting each other. So over there on the top side is actually going to be the office and the processing area. So we often think about vegetables as something that we get directly to the market, but actually before it gets to the market, there's a lot of washing to be done, a lot of packing, so that it actually comes fresh to the market. super exciting to be able to work with such a big space that it's going to be dedicated to vegetables. And we're going to start the earthworks in just about a month. I'm really excited to be able to plant all these vegetables, be able to supply the chefs that have been asking for a while more unique varieties that we can't find on the market. And I'm excited to show you an update in a while to show you what's growing.